Did you know that by the time you finish watching this video, around 20 seniors will have been diagnosed with dementia? That's one every 66 seconds. Let that sink in. 20 families changed forever in the span of just one video. Most of us assume dementia is the cruel price of aging, something that creeps in naturally as the years go by. But here's the terrifying part. What if the real culprit isn't time, but the pills sitting quietly inside your medicine cabinet? For decades, we've been told these drugs are safe, routine, even essential. Doctors hand them out as if they were harmless helpers, and pharmacies stock them on every shelf. Yet new research is sounding a deafening alarm. Up to 99% of seniors are unknowingly taking at least one medication that can shrink the very brain regions responsible for memory by nearly 28% in less than a single year. Imagine losing almost a third of your memory center before your next annual checkup. Take Margaret, age 72. She adored her weekly bingo games and never forgot a grandchild's birthday. Then slowly, the little slips began forgetting her purse at the church hall, misplacing her keys, blanking on her grandson's name. Everyone, even her doctor, blamed normal aging. But in reality, the culprit was something far more insidious, a little pink pill she took every night to help her sleep. Your brain is like a vast library, filled with shelves of memories, faces, and life lessons. Some of the medications millions of seniors swallow every day are like silent thieves tiptoeing through those halls, stealing books one by one. You don't notice the loss until the shelves look emptier, and by then, it can feel too late. And the worst part? The pharmaceutical industry has known about these risks for decades. Yet they continue to profit billions while millions of seniors unknowingly trade clarity for convenience. But knowledge is power. In this video, we'll expose the 9 most dangerous medications that may be accelerating memory loss and triggering dementia. We'll count them down from number 9 to number 1, each more shocking than the last. And when we get to number 3, you'll discover a drug prescribed to millions for something seemingly harmless that may be shrinking your brain right now. Before we dive in, I want to ask you, what medications are you taking daily? Have you ever felt sudden brain fog or forgetfulness since starting them? Don't keep it to yourself. Drop your experience in the comments. We're reading every story, and your words might save someone else's mind. So let's begin. Number 9 may already be sitting in your nightstand, and it could be rewriting your memory without you even realizing it. Number 9, diphenhydramine, better known as Benadryl. If you're over 60, chances are this little pink pill has sat on your nightstand at some point. Millions reach for it when they can't sleep, when spring allergies flare, or when a cold keeps them tossing and turning. It's cheap, it's over the counter, and it feels harmless. After all, if it's sold without a prescription, it must be safe, right? But here's what's happening beneath the surface. Diphenhydramine belongs to a class of drugs called anticholinergics. These medications block acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter your brain desperately needs to form new memories and stay alert. Think of acetylcholine as the messenger that connects your neurons. Without it, your brain's communication lines falter like static on a phone call. And the older your brain gets, the more it relies on every bit of acetylcholine it can muster. When you take Benadryl night after night, you're not just quieting your allergies, you may be starving your brain of one of its most vital signals. The data is chilling. A 2023 study in the Journal of Geriatric Cognitive Health followed seniors who used anticholinergic drugs regularly. The result? They had a 54% higher risk of developing dementia compared to those who avoided them. That's not a small bump. It's like flipping a coin and suddenly doubling the odds it lands on the wrong side. Now picture this. Margaret, yes, the same grandmother from the opening, thought Benadryl was her bedtime friend. But over months, she began forgetting her favorite bingo numbers and couldn't remember if she had already locked the front door. Her family chalked it up to stress, maybe even age. But it wasn't age, it was the very pill she trusted to help her rest. Here's the real warning. Many products in your medicine cabinet hide diphenhydramine under labels like PM nighttime or allergy relief. If you see those words, there's a good chance you're looking at Benadryl in disguise. So what can you do? Never stop any medication abruptly, but know you have options. For allergies, newer antihistamines like loratadine Claritin or cetirizine Zyrtec don't cross the blood-brain barrier the way Benadryl does, making them safer for long-term use in seniors. And for sleep-gentle approaches like melatonin relaxation routines or even cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia can help you rest without sacrificing your memory. Just remember, over-the-counter doesn't always mean safe. Sometimes it means silent danger. Number 8. Proton pump inhibitors or PPIs. Names like Prilosec Nexium and Prevacid might sound familiar. They're the go-to pills for heartburn, acid reflux, and GERD. For millions of seniors, popping a PPI each morning feels as routine as brushing their teeth. The relief is immediate, the burn fades, and life feels normal again. But here's what almost no one tells you: by silencing your stomach acid, these drugs may also be silencing your brain. Stomach acid isn't just there to make you uncomfortable after spicy food. It's the critical first step in unlocking nutrients, especially vitamin B12, magnesium, and calcium, that keep your neurons firing and your memory sharp. Imagine your stomach as the kitchen where fuel for your brain gets prepared. When PPIs shut down acid production, it's like closing the kitchen doors. No meals get cooked, and your brain slowly starves. The science backs this up. A 2016 study in JAMA Neurology followed more than 73,000 adults aged 75 and older. Researchers discovered that regular PPI users had a 44% increased risk of developing dementia compared to non-users. 44%, nearly half again the risk just from trying to tame heartburn. And the story gets darker. By reducing stomach acid, PPIs may actually encourage the buildup of amyloid beta plaques in the brain, the same toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. That means, while you're soothing your stomach, you may be feeding the very process that robs you of memory. Let's make this real. Picture Harold, age 68. He's been on Nexium for almost 10 years because the reflux always comes back if he misses a dose. Recently, Harold found himself walking into rooms with no idea why, losing track of conversations mid-sentence. His wife worried he was showing early dementia. In truth, the very pill meant to protect his comfort was undermining his clarity. So what can you do if you're dependent on PPIs? First, never stop, suddenly rebound. Reflux can be severe, but ask your doctor about tapering with H2 blockers like famotidine Pepcid. While not perfect, they are less likely to interfere with memory. For natural relief, some seniors have found benefit in chewing deglycyrrhizated licorice DGL, a natural compound that coats and calms the stomach lining without sabotaging the brain. The bottom line: your stomach and your brain are more connected than you think. And when you suppress the acid too aggressively, the price may be your memory. Number 7. Bladder control medications like oxybutynin, sold under the brand name Ditropan. For many seniors, bladder issues are more than a nuisance. They're a source of embarrassment, interrupted sleep, and constant worry about finding the nearest restroom. A prescription for oxybutynin often feels like freedom. Finally, no more frantic bathroom trips. Finally, dignity restored. But there's a hidden cost. Oxybutynin works by blocking acetylcholine, the same vital chemical messenger disrupted by Benadryl. Only this time, the drug doesn't just skim the surface. It crosses the blood-brain barrier with ease, going straight to the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. That makes it especially dangerous. In fact, a 2019 study published in the BMJ followed adults over 65 who took strong bladder medications like oxybutynin for more than a year. The result: a 49% higher risk of developing dementia. Nearly 1 in 2. And the tragedy is that most patients are never warned. Instead, they're told this will help with your bladder control. What they aren't told is, it may also be quietly dismantling your memory. Consider Ellen, age 74. She was thrilled when Ditropan stopped her nightly bathroom runs. But then she began losing track of her favorite TV shows, misplacing bills, and repeating questions to her daughter within minutes. Ellen thought it was just old age. In truth, it was chemical interference stealing her clarity one dose at a time. The cruelest part. These side effects often mimic normal aging, so families rarely make the connection until the damage is already advanced. But there is hope. Newer medications like mirabegron/mirbatrix work differently. They relax the bladder without blocking acetylcholine, sparing the brain from collateral damage. For some simple lifestyle changes, timing fluid intake, pelvic floor exercises, or addressing sleep hygiene can also reduce symptoms. The takeaway is simple: you shouldn't have to trade your memory for bladder control. If you're on oxybutynin and notice increasing brain fog, it's not just in your head, it could be in your pill bottle. Number 6, statins, the cholesterol-lowering drugs millions of seniors take every day. Names like Zocor simvastatin and Lipitor atorvastatin are probably in half the pill organizers of people over 60. They're prescribed as life-saving shields against heart attack and stroke. But here's the part rarely discussed. Cholesterol isn't just an enemy of your arteries, it's also a lifeline for your brain. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, and cholesterol helps build and maintain the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerve cells that lets signals travel quickly. Strip away too much cholesterol, and it's like fraying the insulation off an electrical wire. Messages misfire, sparks fly, memory falters. Research is sobering. A 2023 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that seniors over 70 on statins for more than 3 years had a 26% higher risk of mild cognitive impairment. And at high doses, the decline was even more pronounced. Some patients described the effect suddenly forgetting familiar driving routes, blanking on names of lifelong friends. One man compared it to living in a house where someone keeps turning the lights off at random. The truth is, not all statins cross into the brain. Drugs like pravastatin and rosuvastatin appear less likely to disrupt memory. And in some cases, lifestyle changes like increasing fiber intake, regular walking, and omega-3s can allow for lower doses. If you've been on statins for years and feel the fog creeping in, don't wait. Talk with your doctor about safer alternatives or dose adjustments. Protecting your heart should never come at the expense of your mind. Number 5, benzodiazepines, often known as benzos. Drugs like Valium diazepam, Xanax alprazolam, and Ativan lorazepam are household names. They're prescribed to calm anxiety and silence insomnia. For many, they feel like lifesavers, quieting the restless mind, easing panic, and helping with sleep. But over time, that relief can turn into a trap. Benzos enhance GABA, the brain's main calming chemical. Too much GABA activity, however, doesn't just relax, it sedates. Neurons slow down. Learning halts. The brain becomes sluggish, dulled, disconnected. A 2022 study in the BMJ tracked over 8,000 seniors for 6 years. Those using benzodiazepines for more than 3 months had a 51% increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. Longer use, especially with long-acting drugs like Valium, made the risk even higher. Seniors often describe it as living in a fog or feeling like they're walking through life underwater. Worse still, when they try to stop withdrawal, brings back the anxiety and sleeplessness in full force, making the drug feel essential even as it harms them. The good news: alternatives exist. For anxiety, buspirone is non-sedating and safer for long-term use. For sleep, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI can retrain the brain naturally. Even melatonin or relaxation techniques can restore calm without hollowing out memory. Benzos may promise peace, but if that peace comes at the price of your mind, it's no peace at all. Number 4, amitriptyline, an older antidepressant still prescribed today. Often given for pain, insomnia, or migraines, amitriptyline, brand name Elavil, looks like a multi-use wonder drug. But beneath the surface, it's one of the most potent anticholinergic medications still in circulation. By powerfully blocking acetylcholine, amitriptyline doesn't just risk memory loss, it practically guarantees it with long-term use. A 2015 study in JAMA Internal Medicine examined over 3,400 older adults. Those who accumulated high doses of anticholinergic medications like amitriptyline over 10 years had a 54% greater chance of developing dementia. Imagine taking a pill at night to ease your pain, only to discover years later that it was slowly chiseling away at your memory. Some patients describe forgetting words mid-sentence or struggling to follow simple conversations. But safer choices exist. For nerve pain, drugs like duloxetine or gabapentin carry less cognitive risk. For sleep, low-dose doxepin or melatonin can help without such heavy anticholinergic baggage. And for depression, newer antidepressants like sertraline or escitalopram are far kinder to the brain. The key is awareness. The real danger isn't just the pill, it's the silence around its side effects. Number 3, paroxetine sold under the brand name Paxil. On the surface, paroxetine looks like a modern antidepressant part of the SSRI family. But unlike its siblings, it carries a hidden weapon, strong anticholinergic properties. That makes it different and more dangerous. A 2021 review in Frontiers in Psychiatry found that elderly patients on paroxetine showed measurable declines in memory, verbal recall, and attention within just 12 months. Compared to other SSRIs, they were 30% more likely to show early signs of cognitive decline. Ironically, it's often prescribed to stabilize mood, but instead, it can leave patients emotionally flat, mentally dulled, and forgetful. Take John, age 70. He started Paxil for anxiety. Months later, he couldn't remember the name of his neighbor, someone he had known for decades. His sadness eased, but so did his clarity. The fix is simple: avoid paroxetine in seniors. The American Geriatric Society's Beers criteria explicitly lists it as potentially inappropriate. Safer SSRIs like sertraline or escitalopram can support mood without robbing memory. Supplementing with B vitamins may also help strengthen cognition naturally. In short, when it comes to SSRIs, not all are created equal. Paxil stands apart for the wrong reasons. Number 2, antipsychotics. Originally designed for schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, drugs like quetiapine Seroquel, risperidone, Risperdal, and olanzapine Zyprexa are now frequently prescribed off-label to seniors for sleep problems, agitation, or behavioral issues. But these are sledgehammers, not scalpels. They suppress dopamine, a neurotransmitter critical for motivation, mood, and memory processing. A 2022 study in The Lancet Healthy Longevity followed more than 25,000 older adults. Seniors prescribed antipsychotics for behavioral symptoms were 71% more likely to experience worsening cognitive decline within 12 months. The side effects are heartbreaking. Patients often become dull, flat, or zombified. Families describe loved ones as fading, still physically present, but emotionally and mentally absent. The tragedy is that many seniors don't even know they're taking an antipsychotic. They're told it will help them sleep or calm down. Meanwhile, the risks: stroke, sedation, falls, hospitalization mount silently. Safer alternatives exist. Many behavioral symptoms can be managed with non-drug approaches, structured routines, improved lighting, reduced noise, addressing pain or discomfort. When medications are unavoidable, shorter use and lower doses minimize harm. If your loved one is on an antipsychotic, ask why and whether it's truly necessary. Sometimes the most compassionate treatment is not another pill. Number 1, anticholinergic polypharmacy, the silent killer. The single most dangerous medication for dementia isn't a drug at all. It's the combination. When seniors take multiple medications with anticholinergic properties at once, the effects stack, multiplying the risk. Picture this. A senior takes Benadryl for sleep, oxybutynin for bladder control, and amitriptyline for pain. Alone, each drug carries risk. Together, they create a chemical storm. The cumulative burden skyrockets, blocking acetylcholine from multiple angles. The brain slows, synapses shrink, neurons wither. A 2022 analysis in Age and Aging tracked more than 280,000 older adults. Those with the highest anticholinergic burden had a 120% increased risk of dementia within 10 years. That's more than double. And the cruel twist, most seniors don't even know they're on anticholinergic medications. The danger hides in plain sight. But here's the empowering truth: drug-induced dementia is often reversible. When the burden is lifted, when unnecessary medications are tapered safer. Alternatives introduced, many seniors regain clarity within weeks or months. The solution starts with a medication review. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to examine every prescription, every over-the-counter pill, every supplement. Tools exist to calculate your anticholinergic load. Once identified, steps can be taken to deprescribe, rebalance, and restore. Your brain is resilient. It wants to heal. But first, it needs a chance. We've now counted down from number 9 to number 1. And if you're still with me, you've probably noticed a pattern. The most dangerous drugs aren't exotic or rare. They're the familiar ones, the pills for sleep, heartburn, cholesterol, mood, and bladder control that millions of seniors take every single day. And topping the list, the deadliest of all, isn't a single pill at all. It's polypharmacy, the silent layering of multiple drugs with anticholinergic effects. Like drops of water filling a glass, each pill may seem harmless on its own. But together, they overflow into a flood that drowns memory, clarity, and independence. Think about it. A grandmother takes a nighttime allergy pill, a bladder control tablet, a pain reliever for nerve pain, a small antidepressant for sleep. Each prescription feels justified. Each refill is routine. But in the brain, they join forces, creating a chemical chokehold that robs her of the very essence of who she is. Families call it old age. Doctors call it cognitive decline. But in truth, it's often drug-induced and preventable. And here's the piece of hope most people don't hear. Drug-induced dementia is not always permanent. When the burden is reduced, the brain can rebound. Neurons can reawaken. Fog can lift. Patients once lost in confusion have regained energy, clarity, and memory simply by tapering off the wrong medications. Take Harold, whom we met earlier. His confusion worsened every year on his reflux medication. When his doctor finally reviewed his entire pill list, they discovered not 1, but 3 anticholinergic drugs hiding in plain sight. With careful tapering and substitutions, Harold's sharpness returned. His wife said, "It was like I got my husband back." That's the power of awareness. So what can you do today? Review your medication list. Don't just look at prescriptions. Check every over-the-counter pill, every PM or nighttime label, every supplement. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about your anticholinergic burden. There are tools and scales that measure this load. Insist on a full review. Never stop abruptly. Tapering and substitution must be supervised. Safety first. Share this knowledge. Because chances are someone you love is swallowing one of these pills tonight without knowing the risks. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these medications are you currently taking? Have you noticed more brain fog, forgetfulness, or personality changes since starting them? Leave a comment below. We read every single one. Your story may be the light bulb moment that saves another senior's mind. And if this video has opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, a parent, a spouse. The pharmaceutical industry profits from silence, but awareness is our greatest weapon. Your memories are treasures. They hold your family's stories, your laughter, your wisdom. Don't let them be stolen silently, one pill at a time. The brain is resilient. It wants to heal. Give it the chance, and it can. So check your cabinet tonight. Ask the hard questions tomorrow. And together, let's protect what matters most: our minds, our memories, and our future.